Hello and welcome to another edition of ProtoBalls Talk. I'm ProtoMet.
This is my recycled balls.
Today we will be talking about what movie?
I don't know. Some movie. Some Italian movie. No one gives a shit.
You know, I could tell you for a few dollars more.
No. That's terrible. I hope you shoot yourself.
Well, it's a good thing this movie is about gunslinging then.
Yeah. That's terrible.
I know.
I hate you. Couldn't even... For a few dollars more.
The second of the Sergio Leone Man with No Name movies, which is complete bullshit because, as you will soon learn, this man totally has a name.
Yeah. They should have... That is the name they should have stuck him with. Alright, otherwise known as per qualche dollaro in pio. Let me repeat that a little bit better.
Hopefully.
Per qualche dollaro in pio. Fucking Christ.
Which does literally translate to for a few dollars more.
Yeah. Per qualche dollaro in pio. There we go, I got it. Under my breath. I'm not gonna say it out loud. Yeah, second Sergio Leone film.
Also known as the Dollars Trilogy.
Yep.
This one, I'm not sure what I should be saying here since you've watched it more than I have.
Yeah. I don't really, Alright, well, for a few dollars more, came out, 65. The last movie came out in 64, so this was a year afterwards. It's got a few more. It's got another big name to it. It's got some dude named Lee Van Cleef. I don't know. Probably not important.
I'm not gonna lie. I only know him as being in this movie and the next movie, and I don't know what else he's been in.
Escape from New York.
Okay.
He was the guy that sends Snake in.
Okay,
I've
not seen that movie.
Okay.
But that movie came out after this one, so.
Yeah, that came out in like '82.
Were there any other movies that he was in? Now you're looking it up.
He was in High Noon.
Haven't seen it.
Let's see, what else has he been? Dude, he was in High Noon. And
I heard about that one.
And he didn't have the mustache.
Oh, what?
Lee Van Cleef has a very legendary mustache.
It is. Like, as soon as you see it, it's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that's a nice mustache. It's an excellent mustache.
that is a mustache. That belongs in the Mustache Hall of Fame.
And in this movie, he is playing a bounty hunter by the name
he was also in a few episodes of The Lone Ranger.
Never saw it.
Yeah.
Also, which version? Yeah, there's a question.
Yeah, I don't know. 56, 57, or 52, 53 version. Sorry.
It doesn't matter to me. I've never watched any version of it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, those are his 4 biggest films.
Oh, wow.
He's been in a few more westerns, but other than that,
he certainly does.
He's a character actor, so it makes sense why he wouldn't be in a bunch of big films. He's not like a Tom Hardy caliber character actor. And yes, Tom Hardy is a character actor, or he's a method actor at least. So.
But yeah, in this movie, Lee Van Cleef plays a bounty hunter by the name of what? Something Mortimer.
Colonel Douglas Mortimer.
Okay.
Also returning is, of course, Clint Eastwood.
Yep.
But also returning is Gian Maria Volonte, who, if anybody was wondering, he was Ramon in the last movie. And no, Ramon's not back.
Now, this is a completely different character, as we soon...
But he is the villain!
He is still the villain!
And you know what? They actually don't look at all similar.
I think they look similar enough due to the fact that they're the actor,
yeah.
but they are still distinct from each other.
I suppose.
So I can definitely say, okay, I know which one that one is.
Another actor also came back, but we'll get to him.
We'll get to him soon enough.
So the movie starts out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
Yep, that's actually
what no, it starts on a train, and we cut to a person reading the Bible, who we are assuming is...
And the guy sitting across from him...
is making the assumption he's the priest.
He makes his assumption that he's a priest, because he's wearing all black, got a Bible up to his face.
Yeah. And he's talking to this guy, and then... And Cleef's character lowers the book, and the guy immediately shuts up. He's like, "Oh, are we near Tucumcari?"
Oh, this train don't stop at Tucumcari.
Oh no, you'll have to get off and take another train back to Tucumcari. And he's like, "Oh no, this train will stop at Tucumcari."
He pulls the emergency stop brake. They stop at the Tucumcari station. Lee Van Mortimer gets off.
Yeah.
Douglas. And the conductor...
Mind you, we don't know his name at this point.
No. He gets off. The conductor comes off and basically says, well, we could have made, some, accommodations to get you dropped off here. Because this stop was unsuspected by literally everybody except for Mortimer.
And he's like...
Well, we could have gladly made some appointments for you, and then Mortimer just kind of opens his coat, and you can just see the gun there.
Yeah.
And that basically shuts up the conductor, and he's like, "Oh well, go on your way." And
he's like, well, I forget what he says, but Colonel Douglas Mortimer basically says, "Well, I'm off," and he's like, Yeah, you're off. Right. Okay, let's go. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, that conductor does not want nothing to do with this.
Douglas Mortimer comes into town. He comes to the station house, and he sees a wanted poster. Don't know what the wanted poster is for exactly, but doesn't matter. Name's not important.
It was for $1,000.
Yeah.
And then the guy who the wanted poster is for took a look at it and added 2 more zeros.
That's how much I should be worth. The guy at the station.
That's what the guy at the station tells Mortimer.
The guy at the station's just laughing. He's like, "Ain't nobody stupid enough to take this one." And Colonel Douglas Mortimer looks at him, looks at the poster, and takes the poster, and he's like, "Oh, nobody except you. Okay."
I can't remember what the character he's hunting now is.
I don't know.
It's not super important.
Nope.
Because we'll soon find out why it's not super important.
So he goes into the tavern, the local pub, the saloon, the drinking fountain, as it were, of nectar of the gods. What have you in this barren wasteland of supposedly Texas and New Mexico? And he talks to the saloon owner.
Oh,
bartender.
Right. He talks to the bartender, and the bartender's like, "I don't know who you're talking about."
I don't know what you're talking about.
And then Lee
and Douglas Mortimer grabs him. He's like, "You know where he is."
And the bartender doesn't say anything, but he does look up.
He looks up.
That's all Mortimer needs to know.
He looks up, looks back at Mortimer, shrugs, and says, "I don't know." And Mortimer takes the hint.
He starts heading up.
Yep.
Slides the wanted poster under the door, knocks on the door, and steps aside. Bang! 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 Bang!
Yeah.
And Mortimer kicks down the door, having avoided all of the shots that were directed at him because, he was off to the side. Ends up chasing the dude out of the
hotel saloon inn.
While there's a lady taking a bath. Like, you can tell what she was doing with that guy before he absconded.
Yes. Absconded with his goods. Ill-gotten gains. Mortimer looks at the woman. He's like, oh, excuse me. Sorry for barging in. And he leaves. Goes up.
Head back down outside the bar. Confronts the dude who just fled.
And the guy is like running away on horseback. So Mortimer walks to his horse and unzips the bag. And down drops a bunch of rifles. Mortimer knows what he's doing.
He's a professional.
And he takes one of the rifles, takes aim, manages to kill the horse. He kills the horse. So then the guys face off, and then Mortimer shoots him. The guy stumbles, struggles to get up to his feet, and the guy tries to shoot Mortimer as Mortimer's reloading or pulling out his pistol.
No, what I love about this scene is that the dude is actually shooting at Mortimer, but missing, and the entire time Mortimer is just putting together this, like, elaborate sniper pistol looking thing.
Yeah.
Like, with a stock and everything. And he's just casually doing it. He's not in any sort of rush. Dude's shooting at him, and he's taking his damn time getting this together.
And then he gets a boom headshot.
Shoots him right between the eyes.
So then he goes to collect the money, and he notices another wanted poster, and he asks about that one.
But then the dude says, "Oh, some other guy came by asking."
Some
other guy came by asking about it by the name of Manco.
So then we cut to a different town.
And Manco, a.k.a. Joe, a.k.a. Joe Manco, a.k.a. Clint Eastwood. So he fucking has a name, all right?
Yeah, we're giving him.
Why is this series called the Man with No Name Trilogy? I prefer the Dollar Trilogy because at least that one's not too much of a lie.
Yeah, no, we're gonna call him Joe Manco from now on. Doesn't matter.
That's his name now.
I mean, hint, he's called Blondie in the third movie, but that's okay. It's not. It doesn't have quite the ring to it. It's Joe Manco.
That is such a name.
Yeah.
Love it.
So he stumbles into town when it's raining and storming and
steps into the local saloon.
Yep. Oh, okay. So the guy he's hunting is Red Kavanaugh.
And so he goes up to a guy. He's like, "Hey, I'm looking for Kavanaugh."
He goes up to the sheriff. And he's like,
I didn't even realize that.
He's like, "Where's Red Kavanaugh?" And the sheriff is reluctant to tell him. And then he looks over to his side. And there's a dude at a poker table.
There's a poker table, and the dude's like, "Kavanaugh's the one with his back to you."
Yeah, the sheriff, who should be arresting this fucker, is just letting him, hang out at his bar. So Manco walks up to him.
Decides to join the poker game. Except he's standing while everybody's sitting.
And they're like, what the fuck is this?
And just deals 2 cards to himself and Kavanaugh.
He deals 5 cards.
5 cards, sorry.
Texas Hold'em.
Shut up, I don't know poker. I'm sorry. I'm a fraud!
Yeah, you are. Why do you think we do a podcast? It's because you are a fraud.
I suck at making videos.
So they do a game, and Kavanaugh has 4 kings. And he's like, oh yeah, that's pretty impressive. And then Clint Eastwood, without changing face, with no look on him whatsoever, completely stone-faced, drops his cards. 4 aces. And Kavanaugh's like, well, I don't know what we wagered. Your life. Oh. So yeah, Blondie, Joe Manco beats the shit out of him. Just utterly decimates him inside the saloon with everybody watching. And during all of this,
some of Kavanaugh's men have gotten to the bar. They've gotten wind of what's going on and head to the bar.
And they've got Joe Manco at gunpoint, held at gunpoint,
with his back to them.
So what does Joe Manco do? He whips around and just shoots them.
Shoots all three of them before they can even draw a bead.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, they already have a bead drawn on him.
Yeah.
He still wins.
He still outdraws them.
That's fucking amazing. He outdraws guys who already have their guns out. Fantastic.
He had the element of surprise because all he had to do was whip around and pull out his gun.
Oh, and the entire time before he even whips out his gun, he only ever uses one hand. He beats Kavanaugh half to death with one arm.
Yeah.
That's freaking amazing. And then, of course, he collects his bounty on all four of them.
Well, yeah. Well, as he's distracted by shooting the men. By the way, the stunt on that shot, on those three getting shot was pretty great. Because one of them, when he got shot, just basically stumbled out the door.
Yeah.
Dude went limp real quick. And as he's distracted, Kavanaugh's reaching for a gun. And without looking, Joe Manco just points his gun and shoots him.
Dead. D-E-D, dead.
D-E-D, dead. So he collects
from?
I don't know. So he collects his money.
And then Mortimer decides to go to the bank.
He collects his money, and he's like, say, aren't sheriffs supposed to be
all right,
honest, courageous, and fearless, or whatever? The sheriff is like, yeah. So he takes his badge, throws it into another...
Manco takes his badge and tosses it to some other dudes, and
he's like, you guys need a new sheriff. Wanders out of town.
Then we get to Mortimer, who decides to go to the bank and asks the teller, what bank should I...
Yeah,
what bank would, no robber ever want to...
Well...
before try breaking into.
Well, before that, we get another cutscene. Another scene. Not a cutscene.
All right, this comes first, yeah.
Yeah, we get another scene, and it's at a prison.
And we got Ramon. Well, I can't remember the actor's name. Or the character.
Gian Maria Volonte. And he is this character named El Indio, a bank robber.
All right, Indio.
El Indio, a bank robber in prison with
another dude.
With another dude who's got like a wooden carving of something. Won't say what it is
yet.
And huge explosion, and El Indio's broken out.
By his gang.
His gang has broken him out, and they slaughter everybody, including the guy that was with El Indio.
Yeah, he's the first one to die, and then they shoot all the guards on the way out.
Except one.
Except for one, just so that he can live to tell his tale.
Yeah. Fuck.
That's how confident they are that they're gonna get away with this shit.
Not only do they murder everybody, almost everybody, but when the warden, when they're at the warden's office, El Indio knocks on the door with the gun, and when the warden opens the small window, just gets blasted in the face.
And Indio reaches his gun and just empties it into the already dead man.
Yeah, it's a fucking slaughter.
Yeah.
So then we get to the next scene.
Where Mortimer goes to the bank.
Mortimer goes to the bank, and he's like, now, say I were a criminal, a bank robber. And as he's talking to the guy, the bank manager is like, I'm getting uncomfortable with this conversation. Well... Say I were a bank robber. Which would be the hardest bank to rob?
The one in El Paso.
Well, it would be the one in El Paso. I mean, I don't think El Indio's band would even think of robbing there. And then we get to the next scene, and Jesus Christ, it's...
That is an appropriate comment there. Wouldn't you say? Since it takes place in a church?
Yeah! Yeah,
Oh my God.
An abandoned church, and El Indio's gang has this dude and his family hostage.
Because this is the dude who sold El Indio out and took the money from the last heist before Indio was arrested.
Yeah, he was a bounty hunter that captured him.
Oh.
Because that makes it even worse.
Ooh.
So this dude... So El Indio was in prison for 18 months. And Indio asks how old the boy was.
And it's
18 months. So El Indio's like, oh, so you used the money you got to from capturing me to start a family. I feel like you owe me.
Actually, I was pretty confident he was another member of the gang who sold him out. I mean, if you say he was another bounty hunter...
I think he was another bounty hunter. Because otherwise the rest of the gang would have killed him.
Probably. So anyway, he's like, well, you used the money you got from me to start a family. That kind of makes them kind of hurt my proper mind, don't they? Takes
them out back.
The woman,
the child is fucking...
The wife and the child, child is fucking bawling his head off because of all this scary shit that's going on. Take him outside, you hear some gunshots, and that baby is no longer crying.
And he's like, I know you hate me, but it's only fair. Now...
Indio is such an asshole in this.
I think Indio is a worse character than Ramon.
Yeah.
In terms of morals.
Like, Ramon didn't give a shit, but Indio, he cares. He cares enough.
That's the difference. Ramon doesn't give a shit who dies. Ramon cares who dies.
Indio cares.
Yeah, Indio cares. Yes. What did I say, Ramon?
Yes.
Oh. Fitting. Yeah, Ramon doesn't care who dies. Indio cares who dies. And he uses the fact he cares to his advantage.
He gives them an opportunity. And he gives this guy an opportunity.
So pulls out a pocket watch.
Opens it up and starts playing some music, and he tells him...
Yeah, well...
He has his second in command. He gives the gun back to the guy.
I'll talk about the pocket watch later on in the movie.
Oh, yeah. So
Because there's a thing.
Indio gives the bounty hunter his gun back and tells his big guy to cut his arms loose. And he's like... Opens up his pocket watch... Playing some music, tells the dude, when the music stops, draw. And so we get a tense scene, them two staring each other down while the music plays, and the background music just intensifies to such a grandiose degree. Like it is building upon the tension. It is, oh my God, is it so well done. And then as the background music starts to fade back into the pocket watch music, the tune ends.
And the dude just gets fucking blasted.
Yeah.
He had he had zero chance of winning.
Yeah.
Because if he had managed to kill El Indio, the others would have just killed him.
But that scenario didn't happen, and he gets shot anyway.
So they just drag his corpse out.
So, yeah.
So then we go to another scene with Mortimer at El Paso's bank. Okay? And he's just talking. It's just a scene where they're talking. And he's like, wow, this place is more secure than the one in California. I can't remember if it was San Francisco or San Diego.
I don't know.
I think it was San Francisco. But, yeah, the bank manager was like, yeah, there's a guard here every night when it closes. and we have a watch when it closes, so it's pretty secure.
And then Joe gets into town.
Joe Manco gets into town, and it's great. Oh my god.
Oh, we got this grifter kid.
This fucking kid. I think his name was Luis.
I mean, he's not super important to the plot, but he does pop up a couple times. And this first scene is fantastic.
Yeah, so the kid convinces him, you should sleep in this hotel.
Convinces him to sleep in this one particular hotel. And pretty much tells him that the wife of the guy who runs the hotel, oh, she doesn't care who she sleeps with.
Manco do. I don't think Manco... Yeah, Manco doesn't sleep.
Manco doesn't sleep.
Yeah, he don't sleep. Who needs sleep? Sleep's overrated. No, Manco doesn't sleep with a single woman in these movies, which is astonishing. What considering the subject.
Yeah.
He's I don't know. I just think that's interesting. But Luis kid, this grifter kid, fucking
Joe goes to the kid and is like, hey, you want to earn some money? Give you 50 cents if you tell me of any people from out of town that you don't recognize. And the kid's like, oh, yeah, sure, I know one. Points over to the other hotel where
which is right across the street.
Pretty much right across the street.
As we see Douglas Mortimer walking out.
Just walking out.
And so Joe's like, well, what do you suppose he's in town for?
And then he's like, I'll give you 50 cents more if you tell me where he's staying. And Luis is like,
well,
okay.
No. Well, he's like, well, I wonder why he's in town. And Luis is like, come on.
And he asks Luis why
he's in town.
No, he asks him where Mortimer is staying, and
pretty sure he asks him why he's in town.
No, he asks the kid where Mortimer is staying, and the kid is like, 50 cents. Well, Manco offers the kid 50 cents if he tells him where Mortimer is staying, and Luis is like, yeah, sure. He's staying there. The hotel he just walked out of. And Manco gives the kid the money, just walks into the hotel there in front of him.
He doesn't give a shit at this point.
It's like, he's like there is that moment where you can tell that Joe Manco was a bit upset that he didn't figure that out just from the context. So that kid earned that money.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yep, you got me. You earned that. See, that's why.
So then he comes into town, or he goes into the hotel.
He goes into the hotel. The guy running the hotel says that they don't have any openings. And Joe's like, well, I'll take the room just above. It's like, oh, there's the guy already staying there. So Joe goes up and hears some noises.
He looks at the registry and crosses out the dude's name who's
staying in there. And then goes up to the room.
And we get a nice little scene with the fucking woman that the kid was talking
The wife!
But
she is just leering at him the entire time.
And the guy and the lady's husband is like, Miriam, what the... I don't know what to do with you. And he starts walking, and we realize, dude's a midget. He's short. Holy crap.
And what punctuates it more is that Miriam mentions how tall Manco is.
Yeah. Dude is shorter than his wife.
Oh.
Which as I'm talking, I probably shouldn't be saying anything.
Anyway.
Curse you, cruel fate.
Oh, you're fine for your age. Don't worry about it.
That's what she said.
Anyway, we hear some noises coming from upstairs, and then the guy who was
Senor! I'd like my bill! No, I don't need another room. I just want my bill.
The Mango comes down
Senor.
with a pair of long john pants.
These aren't my size.
No, he doesn't wear any.
I don't wear any. Why would you wear any? It's fucking Nevada. It's the middle of fucking nowhere. Why wouldn't you wear long john?
Nevada? It's in El Paso in like Arizona.
Yes, it's Texas. It's in Texas. I'm sorry.
It's like
El Paso's in Arizona.
I don't know my locations. I've never been down there.
El Paso's a border town.
I thought it was to be fair. I actually thought it was Texas at first. Like that was the first that popped into my mind. It's like, oh, that can't be. That's not nearly as close to California as you would expect. Given that it's that's commented on.
We don't know our geography.
I flunked that class. I just don't care. I never took that class. I don't care enough. Now he's looking it up.
No, I wasn't looking up anything. So, yeah, so we have the stage is set. And in the next scene, we get a bunch of guys shooting off the bells of the abandoned church, signifying their arrival. And more people have joined El Indio's band. A bunch of guys who
were previously part of El Indio's band because, well, they were, but then Indio got caught, and so they vamoosed.
Yeah.
But now that Indio's back, so it's like, fuck yeah, no, I'm coming right back.
And Indio notices someone's missing, and he's like, hey, where's so-and-so?
Oh, you won't see him for like another 4 years. They caught him and imprisoned him for 4 years.
He's like, that's unfortunate.
Stick a pin in that.
But guys, I have a wonderful idea. When I was in prison...
No, he tells...
I learned of a story. A story of a carpenter. A carpenter who was so good at his job that he could make anything. And for a bank, he made a safe. A special kind of safe that looked like a wardrobe. And one day, as he walked...
I thought it was a cabinet.
Well, it was a cabinet, wardrobe, basically the same thing. And one day, he walked into a bank.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a wardrobe because it was made to disguise the bank. Hey, I can hear that finger real loud, and I'm just gonna talk over it. It's not a wardrobe because it was used to store liquor for the higher end customers.
And one day he walked into a bank. Oh no, Jason's killing something.
Starscream.
Yeah, he deserves it. Traitorous swine. Walked into a bank,
can do it too.
and he noticed his work, his fine safe, sitting there. And that is where his fortunes ended. Because you see, all he wanted to do was break into that safe. But you see, his luck ran out. His luck ran out when he met me.
And that's why he killed his cellmate back to prison.
And stole the wood carving. Because that's what it looks like.
So now Indio's band knows exactly what they're going to be stealing.
Yep.
And then we get a scene where Indio is sitting in the chair, and he is frantically wanting a cigarette.
Oh yeah.
Like he is tweaking out in need for a cigarette.
I think that was after he shot the guy.
That might be. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think this scene starts with him having the flashback to how he got the pocket watch.
Oh yeah, the pocket watch.
So yeah,
we'll explain that later.
Yeah, we'll explain that later because the flashback right now is just a brief snippet of the flashback that gets further expanded upon much later in the film. Just suffice it to say that he killed a couple people. He killed a guy who was with his girl, with the guy's girl, not Indio's girl.
I'll leave it at that. So, I'm trying to think of what exactly happens next. Oh, so a bunch of Indio's men wanders into town.
And Mortimer is keeping track.
Yep. And so the kid, the grifter, the little shit, the shit bastard, tells Clint Eastwood to get the fuck outside right now. And Clint Eastwood books it outside and completely ignores the woman at the desk.
As you do. Be gone, thought! That's what she was.
God damn, dude. You're making me feel like a geek.
Why?
Don't say that again. Don't. No.
But that's what she is!
So anyways, she is excuse me, she is a lady of the night, thank you very much.
Or as we call it now, a thought!
Or a whore.
A whore! Whore.
Oh my god, this movie's... Oh, fucking Christ.
This movie is quite a bit more humorous than the previous movie was. It is quite a bit more entertaining than the previous movie was.
Yeah, we'll explain more later.
Yeah.
But the kid talks to Joe Manco, and he's like...
I remember a couple other men I didn't recognize from before.
Well, yeah, so he was like, there was a stranger. Yeah, were there any more? Yeah, more money. Yeah, there was another one. All right, you little shit.
Gives them the money.
All right, yeah. He's like, all right, you little shit, tell me everything. Because he grabs him by the collar.
No, he grabs him by the collar after the kid tells him the money because the kid was intentionally holding out on him.
Yeah.
And that was the kid pushing his luck.
Yeah, so he grabs
Like
him.
the first time,
There were two men, and then there are two more. Where are they? Saloon!
All right.
All right. That's the last of the real any. That's the last of.
Yeah, that kid is gone for the rest of the movie.
Most of the movie.
I think he at this point realized, shit, I'm not even gonna mess with this dude anymore. I'm not gonna try and grift him anymore.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yep.
Pushed my luck a little too hard this time.
So Joe Manco wanders into the saloon and he notices the three dudes. And he just watches them. He's eyeing them. And Mortimer comes down the steps and he decides, I'm gonna fuck with these guys.
So he goes up to the hunchbacked.
Yes, there's a hunchbacked dude.
And decides, he wants a bit of a smoke, so he lights his match on the guy.
On his hump.
Oh. And Hunchy.
Oh, god damn it, man. Why'd you gotta name him that?
Because I couldn't think of anything else.
Alright, his name's Hunchy now.
It's like, I'm not going to call him Quasimodo because he's not that ugly.
He could pass for Lon Chaney.
Maybe. With a bit of makeup. But Hunchy it is.
Hunchy it is.
Flea Man. We're going to call him Flea Man.
Flea Man, okay, that's marginally better. So
I don't know if it is or not.
So he lights a light, lights a kicker.
And Flea Man decides he needs to pay this guy some attention.
And he blows out this match.
And Mortimer has yet to light his pipe, but the match is out now.
So he the fucking Flea Man snickers and he's about to puff on his own cigar, and Mortimer just takes the cigar, lights up his own pipe with it, tries to hand it back. All the while, Flea Man's basically being held back from shooting this fucker
by the other guys who are with him. It's like, come on, man, don't.
Yep.
It's not worth it.
No. It's like, no. We're here for a reason.
Don't fuck this up.
Come on, man. Swallow your pride.
And then Mortimer tries to hand the cigarette back to Flea Man.
Flea Man just like, fuck this, I'm out. Walks away. And so Mortimer's like, anybody else want it? The others leave. And the bartender comes up from under the table. Because he, like, as soon as he lit the match, the guy went under the table. He fucking knew shit was about to go down. Comes back up. Boy, you're real lucky he didn't shoot you. Somebody like that gets disrespected like that. He would shoot you unless he has a good reason not to. Mortimer's like, yeah, I'm kind of wondering that myself. Must have a good reason for being here.
Now, bear in mind that Manco has watched the entire exchange from just off to the side.
Manco's got a grin on his face. He's fucking...
It's like he wants to see how this turns out, and he's pleased with how it turns out. So he decides he wants to get some more information on this dude. So he goes to a dude who lives near the train tracks.
Not quite yet. So then we get a scene of the bank closing. And we see the guys who are in the bar. They're counting the number of seconds it takes for the watch to circle the building and inspect everything before leaving. Who's also watching them is Mortimer. And Mortimer's counting alongside them. So then the guys leave. And Mortimer is pleased with what he saw.
And then he kind of looks over across the street and sees Manco staring back at him through binoculars.
Yeah.
And it's like, what?
What the fuck?
He lowers his telescope, pulls it back up. Joe's still looking at him through the binoculars. He brings his binoculars down and gives him a smirk.
Yeah. So then Mortimer shuts the blinds
and then Manco goes to talk to the guy who lives near the train station.
Yeah.
For information. And this dude is played by the dude who made the coffins in the previous movie. He's played by The Undertaker. And he is a hoot in this scene.
It's the damn trains, I tell you! It's the damn trains! Well, you see, the train baron, he told me your property's gonna be too close to the rail line. And you know what I told him? Yeah, I got a good idea what you told him. And a train rolls through, knocks everything down. You can take your trains and you can stick them. Old man, now if I'm just gonna sit here and listen to you ramble, I could do that back at my hotel room. Well.
As Manco gets up to start leaving.
Hey, where are you going? Give me that gun. Hey, boy, why are you so stupid in the hand? Give me that gun. Now, about that man you told me, does he wear his gun right on his belly? Yeah? Oh, well, why didn't you say so? I know exactly who you're talking about. Colonel Douglas Mortimer. Best shot in all the Carolinas back there in the Civil War. Now I hear he's a bounty hunter. That's all because of the dang trains! Oh, man.
Oh, it's a shame he's only in this scene.
Oh, but what a scene!
What a scene!
Yeah, no, this movie is a lot funnier than...
Like I said earlier,
yeah.
It's a lot more entertaining.
Yep.
What happens next?
Hold on. Yeah, so,
I think what happens next, if I'm recalling correctly, is Mortimer's in his hotel room. Mortimer's in his hotel room, doing maintenance on his weapons, making sure that they're all in top condition.
Some Chinese guy shows up, and then just casually walks in.
Opens up the wardrobe, starts putting Mortimer's stuff in a bag, and just takes it out. Mortimer kind of has to follow him out.
He's like, what the fuck's going on?
And outside, there's Joe telling the Asian man to take the bag to the station. And Mortimer's like, no.
Take the bags to the station. The gentleman's leaving. The Chinese guy goes to leave.
Starts heading to towards the train.
And Mortimer's like, no. Go put them back in the room.
The Asian guy turns back around.
He's going to the station.
And at this point...
The Chinese guy goes back, and then Mortimer's like, put him in the room. And it's at this point the guy's like, oh, no! Just drops the bags and runs inside because he's freaking out. Ah,
you don't have to deal with this. What's going to happen?
fuck this!
Continue.
So Mortimer and Joe Manco stare each other down. Joe Manco steps on Mortimer's boots. The ultimate form of disrespect in the Wild West, according to spaghetti westerns.
And then Mortimer steps right back on his.
And what is Joe Manco's reaction is? All right, whap!
Just decks him.
Decks him in the jaw. Mortimer flops to the ground, and his hat falls off, and he's like,
Mortimer gets back up,
dusts himself off,
reaches down for his cap. Hat goes flying.
And yeah, so they play the gun game where they shoot each other's hats.
At this point, that Mortimer stands back up, walks over to his hat, reaches down to get his hat,
And boom. Does this about 6 more times.
I want to say it was 4 more times.
Something like that. So at the end of it all, he finally gets his hat, dusts it off, puts it back on, and he's like,
Pulls out his
all
gun
right, my turn.
and shoots the hat off of Manco. And then keeps shooting at it to propel it further into the air.
At this point, I just want to point out the unrealistic spec of this scene. Because when you hear about 6 shots in the dead of fucking night, you would expect a crowd to be forming. And there is nobody anywhere.
They couldn't afford the extras for this scene.
Oof.
Everybody was too tired.
No, you had the kids.
Oh yeah, they do show up. Yeah, but they're hiding under the thing, so they're not in frame most of the scene.
So yeah, he's shooting the hat, and you just hear.
Why did they put that sound effect in?
For comedic effect.
Obviously, but goddamn.
So
Too much.
So Manco and Mortimer decide, all right, okay.
So they go back to one of the hotel rooms and get to talking.
Yep.
And they basically agree to do a twofer on this job.
Yeah, they agree
Work together.
Yeah, they agree for a joint partnership. And they decide that somebody needs to be on the inside, somebody on the outside. That's the only way this thing will work.
So that means that Manco has to get...
And Mortimer's reasoning behind this is...
Very sound.
It's very sound. If we both go after the same people and go against each other, all we'll do is just end up shooting each other while Indio and his gang gets away. So, we should team up. And one should go on the inside. And one shouldn't be me, because he'll recognize me. Is what he says.
Well, I assume that his reasoning is because of how he's dressed.
Yeah.
I mean, he is no thug, clearly.
Yeah.
But Manco, well, did you see him in the previous movie? The
Dude was a thug. Dude was a thug.
He looks the part.
Dude was the thuggiest of thugs in that movie.
And Manco can't disagree with this comparison.
Yeah.
Like, he's not too happy about that, but there's nothing he can do to complain about it.
Wild is his name. That's the Hunchback's name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just gonna call him Flea Man.
So Manco goes to another separate prison and breaks out one of Indio's friends.
At Mortimer's suggestion.
This
was actually Mortimer's idea to get Manco in good with Indio by breaking the one member of his gang that's in prison out and bringing him back. And it goes swimmingly.
About as swimmingly as it can go, yeah.
I mean, nobody dies. So,
So yeah, so then Indio...
He uses dynamite to do it, too.
Yeah.
And nobody dies.
Indio interrogates Manco, and Manco's like, well, for all you know, I could be a bounty hunter just waiting to turn you all in. And Indio's like, I like you. I like you.
So they go over the plan. They have a Manco and 3 of Indio's men go off to Santa Cruz and rob a bank down there to make a distraction for the El Paso police. So they have to go down there.
Yep.
To investigate that.
Leaving the El Paso bank completely defenseless.
Except for the one night guard.
Yep.
Although it's like mid-afternoon when this all...
Yeah, the fucking timing. Well, banks close at 4 o'clock.
I know. That's
5 o'clock.
That's stupid, too. I mean, how's the normal person going to get to a bank like that when they have to work the rest of the day? Like, they have to adjust their hours. That's a minor complaint on my part.
That's a complaint about society, about banks.
That's bank society in general.
No, we close at 4 o'clock when everybody gets up, or 5 o'clock when everybody gets off work.
Anyway.
And we close on Sundays.
Anyway. Also, we're only open till noon on Saturdays. You know, the day that everybody has off. Aside from Sunday, which we're just not open for, period.
So,
anyway.
Manco and his group.
And then the group of Indio's men that he's with. The next morning, Manco wakes them up and then shoots all 3 of them dead. Revealing that, he was serious. He wasn't joking about bringing him in.
Yeah, no, because the guy who was talking to Manco before he kills him, he's like, you were just kidding about turning us all in, right?
Nope.
Who says I was kidding?
Shoots them all dead. And then he heads to the local telegraph station and pulls a gun on the guy running the telegraph, has him send out a message saying that the Santa Cruz bank was robbed, even though that didn't happen, and then keeps the dude tied up before heading back to El Paso to watch.
The guy was just making breakfast. Come on, dude. Come on.
He was. Damn.
I wonder how badly those eggs got burnt.
That's just a random thing to be questioning, huh? He turned him over with a fork, a little bit.
He turned one over.
With a fork, a little bit.
Manco, you should have respected a guy's breakfast. My God.
It's the most important one.
So Manco races back as fast as he can.
And he, of course, hides in the shadows to watch what's all going to go down at the El Paso bank. Well, Mortimer, he's watching from his hotel room through the window.
And their reasoning is because they don't know where the safe is in their thinking. They don't... El Indio's band doesn't know where the safe is. They're just going to go through the front door. A perfect way to basically trap them.
But everybody goes around to the back.
Yeah.
Everybody. Even the new guys who come in with their carriage. Covered wagon. There we go.
Conestoga wagon.
Covered wagon. Everybody calls it that, so I'm going to keep calling it.
Circle the wagons, fellas. We're about to get into a debate.
No, we're not. Moving on.
Boom! Giant explosion.
Well, before that, Manco and Mortimer just kind of look at each other with the dawning realization, oh shit, they're not going to do what we thought they were going to do.
Yeah, well, they were confused.
They were confused, and that's like, oh shit. They do know where the safe is.
Giant explosion.
Which catches the night watchman. The night watchman who
was just trying to eat a sandwich.
He was just relaxing and eating a sandwich. And then boom! The wall goes out.
And he's killed by El Indio rather quickly.
Yeah. And then Indio and their men, they lasso the cabinet.
Okay, so they managed to get a fucking crowd for the bank blowing up, but they don't get a crowd for a fucking gunfight outside. Fuck that.
Everybody was nice and rested at that point.
I didn't want to get up and... I mean, they could have looked out the window.
They could have, but we didn't get any shots of people looking out the window. Ha! Ha! I win this argument. Ha ha ha! Victory is mine!
Shut up, man.
Anyway.
Fuck off, Mandark.
That was actually Stewie.
Oh.
Mandark's like, ha 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 ha!
Shut the fuck up.
Never! Or do you want to carry on with this podcast alone?
You see, kids, when a man and a woman...
I have no idea what that even supposed to mean.
You see it, kids. When a man and a woman love each other, they shoot each other in a gunfight. That's why they call it for a few dollars more.
That makes no goddamn sense.
Dude, I'm so tired. I've been working nonstop for the last few days.
Anyway.
So
Manco and Indio's men, they lasso the cabinet containing the safe, load it into the covered wagon, and they head off.
So Manco and Mortimer meet in the middle of nowhere, and Manco basically says, "Well, fuck your plan. I'm just gonna go shoot them all."
Mortimer starts explaining his plan going forward, having basically telling Manco, "Hey, make sure that he heads north. We'll cut him off there."
Well, before that, he said, Mortimer's like, "So you're really not gonna do it, huh? You're not gonna do what I say, huh? All right, that's unfortunate." Pulls out his gun and shoots Manco in the neck.
As the dude is riding off on his horse. Manco turns around and is like, "Dude, really?
Dude, what the fuck? Come on." And he's like, "There. Now you won't look conspicuous."
3 men dead and you coming back without a scratch on you? Mighty suspicious.
Yep.
So Manco's like, all right.
Send him north. So Manco returns
to Indio, tells him what happened, air quotes, and how an Indio isn't yet convinced. But then he looks under Manco under the bandana Manco has tied around his neck and sees the bullet wound. He's like, all right.
All right, you win this time, damn you! How weird is it?
And at this point,
how weird is it that we have an English-speaking Italian playing a Mexican? How weird is that?
Well, to be fair, he was an Italian-speaking Italian playing a Mexican and was dubbed over in English.
Okay, you got me there.
That makes a little more sense. What? Not really, but what?
The things I find to see in this movie. The things in these movies.
Well, of course, Manco's
like, let's head south to the border. And he's like,
I think Indio's men were originally going to head north.
Yeah.
Manco's like, let's head south, and Indio pulls the rug out from under him. We're going to head east.
They go to a small town. I don't know what it's called.
I don't recall what it's called, but...
nobody gives a fuck.
But Indio and his men explain that nobody likes anybody in that town.
They don't like strangers.
They do not like strangers.
Ever since Indio came to town.
So you go in there first, ahead of all of us.
Yeah, let's see what happens. And he's confronted by 3 guys who...
Well, first he encounters some people on the street who immediately head indoors as soon as they see him. And then he's confronted by 3 guys.
So then he notices a kid trying to get apples from a tree, and he
pulls out his pistol, shoots down a few apples, and then a few more shots ring out, and we discover that Mortimer's there.
Yeah. Bravo. three guys book it. They're just like, yeah, no, we're not gonna fuck with these guys.
So then Indio's men come into town. They all head to a bar. There's Mortimer sitting there eating soup. When Flea Man recognizes him.
Well, if it isn't the smoker.
And just like before, there's Manco just watching.
I don't know what's gonna happen here.
So do all of Indio's men. They're just watching it all play out. Not interfering.
Yep. So then, Mortimer just fucking shoots the guy with a suicide pistol. He shoots him with a Derringer. I'm sorry, it's a suicide gun. He fucking pulls a Derringer out of nowhere.
Pulls it out of one of his side pockets. Because he came prepared.
Right. Dude, Derringers are great. You can store them literally anywhere.
They were so tiny. Now I'm reminded of that scene in Deadpool where Blind Alley is pulling up her skirt to get to her Derringer. Deadpool is like, up, down, down. And then he forgets all the guns in the cab.
We are not amused.
I fucking love that movie.
So anyway, the fucking Munchkin kid gets shot. I don't fucking know. Flea Man gets shot. He's dead. And El Indio's like, alright, why the fuck are you here? And he's like, I can open that safe without blowing up any money.
He basically reasons, if you use dynamite to open that safe, you are going to destroy half of those bills.
So then he opens the safe.
With acid.
Reasonable.
They get the money, put it in a chest, and I'll head to some place.
Well, they say, well, we have to stay here for a month. Because otherwise, if any of us get caught, we're finished.
Any of us gets caught with the money, we're finished.
Yeah. So yeah. So they go to some place. I don't fucking know.
I don't fucking know, a hideout or something?
Bumfuck nowhere.
And just lay low. Now that night, Manco decides to sneak out, get his hands on the money. He makes his way to the storehouse and
Basically opens up a hole in the roof.
pulls some tiles away, hops on down. But he notices another hole. Realizes he's not alone.
Yep.
3.
Mortimer shows up. He's like, hey, you wanted that money? Here's your money. Get out of here.
And Mortimer has at this point emptied the trunk, which was locked with a padlock, and empties it into like some saddlebags. Leaves the wanted poster for Indio in there, and closes everything up as though nothing had happened.
Yeah, this middle part of the movie is not very fun.
I think it's entertaining enough. So anyway, they both, now that this deed is done, they both decide we're going to start making our way out and sneak back up onto the roofs to make their getaways. And then Joe starts to come down, but then he steps on something on the way down.
Oh.
Indio, who has been waiting for him.
Yeah.
And Mortimer is also caught.
But Manco was smart enough.
And he tosses the saddlebags in such a way where they remain hidden for a good chunk of the remainder
For the rest of the movie, they're hidden.
Basically.
Until the very end.
Very end of the movie. And, well, then, of course, Manco and Mortimer get the shit beat out of them. And India reveals that he knew those two were bounty hunters the entire time.
Yeah. He knew they were bounty hunters in a later scene. But, so, they finish beating him up. They tie him up into some stable. And, Indio's right-hand man. I don't know his name.
I'm going to call him Chaco, because I think the right-hand man in the previous movie was Chico Chaco. If this guy shows up in a third movie, we're going to name him Choco. Chocobo. Anyway, we're calling him Chaco, this one. I just have that on my mind because I've recently watched Tremors 3 in the opening scene. Nino. Okay.
Nino.
Well, I guess he's Nino.
So Nino steals Cuchillo's knife.
Who the fuck is Cuchillo? He's another member of Indio's band who's asleep at this point.
Yep. Steals Cuchillo's knife and just stabs
the Night Watcher.
Yeah. Yeah, stabs one of the Night Watchers.
And
Freeze, Manco,
and Mortimer tells them to get the hell out of there.
Get out of here. You got a head start.
And at this point, I'm wondering what's about to happen. But it's like, what? Why is he helping these dudes? Turns out it was Indio's idea.
Yep. Indio says, "Oh, I knew they were bounty hunters from the start. But think about this, Nino. I want you to think about this very hard. What if we sent our men out to kill them, but because they're bounty hunters, they're better shots, while we, us two, you and me,
take the money and run right off into the sunset. Sunrise, I guess, this time."
So Nino's all in on this plan.
He's all in.
He's like, "That is the greatest plan I've ever heard. Let's do it."
So basically, Indio is betraying almost the entirety of his entire gang for this haul.
Yeah. And
then they wake up the dude whose knife was stolen and practically accuse him of being the one who stabbed the night guard and freed the two bounty hunters. Shoots him dead multiple times. This, of course, wakes up
everybody,
the other members
and
of the gang
Indio
who witness him shooting the man dead. And then he puts on such a performance as though his heart was broken by this man. He puts
on a performance that would win him an Oscar.
He would win him 2 Oscars.
If this were any other movie, that would be a performance that would win him 2 Oscars. Maybe even an Emmy. Maybe even an Emmy. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's for, like, TV.
Exactly.
Okay.
It'd be so good he'd win 2 Oscars and an Emmy. It's that good.
And it's like, this man betrayed us. He let the bounty hunters go.
Quick question.
Go get them.
Quick question.
Go get them.
Speaking of, quick question. If a movie is made for television, does it win an Oscar or an Emmy?
Yes.
See, cheating.
I actually don't know.
Cheating the system. They get both. Ha ha!
I mean, technically, probably.
They should get both.
Especially if it's good enough.
I know the Doctor Who movie wasn't going to win any Oscars. Fuck, that was not a good movie.
Which one?
The 96 movie.
Okay. Because there's like 3 of them.
The one with... Oh, God, none of them. As much as I love Peter Cushing. No. Those movies are fucking awful. Doctor Who and the Daleks. And I don't know what the other one is. But,
I don't remember.
But fuck those movies. God. I love Peter Cushing too. He's great. But those movies ain't it. So yeah, Indio's men, they book it, and only one of them stays behind.
Because he's caught on to Indio's scheme. He's not dumb. He realizes what Indio is sending the men out to do. And so he decides he's going to take the money instead.
I'm going to take
Kills Nino and demands that Indio open the chest with all the money.
The dude's name is Groggy, by the way.
Groggy. How fitting.
Yep.
So anyway, Indio's men are out, but of course they're up against Manco and Mortimer working together. So it doesn't quite work out as well for them as they think that it's going to. But it does go about as well as India was expecting it to go.
Yeah.
And so So Indio does manage to get the chest open for Groggy and discovers his own wanted poster, which is accompanied by a laugh from Indio himself. Like that from like some other part of the movie,
Yeah.
I assume.
A stock sound effect of Indio laughing as he stares into
His own face.
And Groggy starts laughing until a later scene where he's trying to find the money, and Indio starts laughing. A reversal of fortune, because at this point, Indio doesn't care about the money anymore.
He's gone full on insane.
Yep.
Got his pocket watch. Decides to give that a look, and it's at this point we get the flashback explaining everything.
Did we talk about Manko and Mortimer murdering basically everybody?
I implied it. I mean, we'll get into more details about that after this. But this flashback. So, Indio
breaks into a house
with a man and a woman. Watches the man give his woman, a pocket watch that plays music. The same pocket watch that Indio now has. Indio makes his presence known, shoots the man dead, tears the clothes off of the woman, and takes her in her own bed.
Dude,
and she
fucking come on.
She reaches for Indio's gun and shoots herself in the side while he is taking her.
Don't know why she didn't just shoot him in the head.
Because she could not live with this anymore. And Indio was traumatized by this.
Dude was traumatized for his raping of a woman.
Yes!
Maybe you shouldn't fucking rape women. Just a thought.
Like, granted, he's a bad guy, so he's irredeemable, but he wasn't traumatized by the fact that he was raping her. It was the fact that he was raping a corpse at one point. That's why he became a drug addict.
Yeah, so he smokes pot.
It's basically implied that the cigarettes he has a hankering for are pot because he gets so fucking mellow, can do his best to forget about it. And yeah, this is the explanation for Indio's pocket watch. However, I should mention that Mortimer has a pocket watch. Yeah. Probably a coincidence.
So Mortimer is shouting, and he's like, "Indio, it's Colonel Douglas Mortimer. Mortimer, do you remember that name? Does any of that sound familiar to you?"
But now but we'll get back to that soon enough.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna talk about how Manko and Mortimer just absolutely murder these dudes.
Manko goes into a house, puts up his clothes up against like a hat and
a coat rack,
and
two of Indio's men burst in, see his clothes, shoot him. He whips around on the chair and shoots them both dead. Gets his clothes back.
These guys are fucking jobbed out real quickly. These guys lose these guys are killed like a jobber to Braun Strowman.
Oh! Not inaccurate though.
Like they try their damnedest to hurt them, and they just swat them like flies.
Oh, was it Manko who did the cart?
Yeah, Manko did the cart, and Mortimer came in and shot them. Teamwork.
Yeah. These two guys go into like a storage area, and Manko lets loose a cart, which crashes into the storage area. Then Mortimer goes in and shoots the two dead while they're distracted with the carriage, with the cart.
So then we get outside the hideout, and lad. So Mortimer's outside, and he's waiting for them. But then Groggy comes out, and he just books it. He's trying to run away as fast as he can. Mortimer shoots him. Down goes Groggy.
Yep. And Indio
shows up. Yep. Shows up and shoots the gun out of Mortimer's hand. So Indio's like, "Alright, it's time to go."
Opens up the pocket watch, is like, "When this music stops, you go for your gun. You try to kill me."
Yep. So, as the music's playing, we
then suddenly hear the music playing upon itself. As it turns out, Manco has Mortimer's pocket watch, which is playing the exact same tune.
Oh.
And contains the exact same picture of the dead woman.
Yep.
And it's at this point that we realize, I figured it out a lot earlier on because I did, but the woman that died, that Indio took the pocket watch from,
is related
to Mortimer.
Yep.
It's a personal vendetta. That's why Mortimer was actually willing to give Manco the entirety of the bounty. This was all personal for him.
Mm-hmm.
And because Manco has interfered, gives Mortimer his gun back.
Oh no, he gives him his own gun.
Oh, he gives Mortimer his own gun so that and then the shootout can commence. Music, and once again, the music reaches an absolute symphonic crescendo as it's added into the background music before finally fading back into the pocket watch music box.
And it finally finishes. And Mortimer draws first and he shoots that Indio. And Indio is fucking stumbling, bumbling, drunk, falling backwards. He's backed up against a small brick crevasse, little wall, a small, tiny wall. He's about to shoot Mortimer, and then he just flops dead in a nice pose.
Yeah.
Like you could take some pictures of that.
Post them on your wall.
Put that on a magazine.
That's fucking morbid.
Dead Weekly. See the hottest dead celebrities.
Oh God! But it is a fantastic shot. Just for the visual.
Dude, the magazine sells 1 million weekly. Come on.
Oh God, America is fucked up.
America is fucked up. So, God damn it, dude.
I know.
So, hold on, let me try to finish my thoughts here, if I can.
Before the toxic gas gets to you.
No. Come on, dude. Seriously?
Yes.
So Mortimer just says, Manco, you have all the money. My job's finished here. That was for my sister.
So yeah, the woman was his sister.
So Manco has all the bodies piled up.
In the cart. Takes them off. And then the movie ends. Pretty much.
Yep.
No, what happens is that...
Haha, you thought the movie ended!
Manco!
You thought it was the end of the movie.
Corpses and counting up the money.
You thought it was the end of the movie, but it was really me! Dio!
So anyway, Manco has the corpses piled up.
He's counting it.
He's counting the monetary value of each corpse. And he realizes he's come up short. Quickly turns around and shoots the guy that's behind him.
Groggy didn't die when Mortimer shot him. He's like, and so Mortimer turns back as he's riding away. You need any help? He's like, no, it's fine, old man. I thought my math was off, but it's fixed now.
And then the movie ends.
Well, yeah, Manco starts riding off. And he stops, looks over to his right, and he sees the saddlebags full of the money.
Oh right,
and he grabs it,
and heads back to El Paso.
The
end.
The end. Holy
For real this time.
Holy crap! This movie's so good.
I know.
Like, I think this movie's better than A Fistful of Dollars, but I think A Fistful of Dollars is a better watch.
I feel that both movies are equally good for very different reasons.
Yeah. I mean, well...
The first movie is a lot more dramatic and tense, but this movie has a lot of humorous scenes that add to the drama that's going on.
Right.
So...
that was a few dollars more.
Fantastic movie.
Now I just need $10 more. Otherwise known as The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
No, it's The Good, the Ugly, the Bad.
Oh, that's right.
That's a translation of the Italian title. I looked it up.
El Buono, El something, and El Cattivo.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I can pull up the poster if you want me to.
No, that's fine.
All right.
That's fine. I'm waiting for the day that we do Once Upon a Time in the West, because oh man. People say the debate, as far as Sergio Leone films is which is better, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and Once Upon a Time in the West. And we'll get into that when we do that movie eventually. I would love to do the trilogy, the Once Upon a Time trilogy, at some point in the future. We're getting way too ahead of ourselves. What's next for us?
First off, we should probably give our ratings for this movie.
Oh, 9 out of 10.
9. Yeah, I gotta agree with that. Fantastic.
Pretty sure I gave Fistful also 9.
Yeah. I think I may have given it an 8, but I think I'm being a bit generous today.
Yeah. I mean, you're a star.
Oh, nobody's going to get that outside of maybe Brian.
Fucking big graphics.
Hey.
No, didn't they change? Yeah, they changed the name, didn't they?
Yes, but that's not relevant to this at all. Just keep them out of this, please. They're a separate entity, okay?
I'm gonna bring them back. I'm gonna interview them. So I'll ask everybody what their favorite movie is. Then it'll be relevant.
Then it'll be relevant. But for now, no. Anyway.
No, so what's next for us?
Next we're going to finish off the origin.
Fucking shit in space, whatever.
After
the last 2 movies, I'm over it.
I think you might. This next one might revitalize your interest in these. Maybe.
After that, obviously.
Well, we already said what we're going to do after that, but actually before that, we might get to 1 or 2 other reviews.
Other 2 projects.
But those are going to be a bit more timely with those releases. So, until next time, this has been me, ProtoMet.
This is my recycled balls.
This has been ProtoBalls Talk. See ya.
You know, we didn't do any wrestling talk.
We didn't need to.
I guess not. Alright, see ya.
See ya.